Hi everyone, it's Jeff at Brimwood Farm. We've got blue skies today. The ground is really frozen. It's a beautiful wintry day, as you can see. I'm wearing all these layers to try and keep warm. But what I thought I'd do is I'd give you a little tour of the garden. If you've been watching the channel for any length of time, you'll know that I have got some land, but it's 2 hours away. And so until I can move closer and hopefully build the smallholding on it, there's little I can do other than land management and conservation work and tree chopping and things like that. So all the current veggie growing, livestock, flowers and stuff, that all takes place just in an everyday domestic backyard garden. And though it's double the size of my old garden was up in London, it's still a pretty small plot, and there's a lot of gardens that are a lot bigger actually. So I wanted to give you a little look around. If you like the video, please hit the thumbs up and also subscribe so you can see updates. But without further ado, let's go and take a look. So here we go, this is the back door. Now the first thing is I have my bean trough. This is what I use to grow my French and runner beans in. I put new compost and poultry muck in there every year, so the old stuff comes out and gets put onto the ornamental flower beds, and then new stuff gets put in. Now this area doesn't get a huge amount of light, so I can't grow much else. I might put some garlic cloves in there just to overwinter. But it's good for the beans because the beans just rush up and climb up onto this trellising, and then it's a good way to maximise this boundary edge. It also disguises the fact that we have a bloody awful fence, and the trellising is not attractive in the slightest, but needed because we had a couple of garden invasions last year and they stole a chicken and killed some birds, and so we just need to try and put people off. So that's the beans right here. On the other immediate side, I have a couple of olive trees. I have the bottle gardens that you may have seen the video for me making. They did really well. The lettuces that came out of it thrived and were really great and good tasting as well. I have lost one, however. The wind brought it down, so I need to repot it, put it back up, because I will be using those again next year. And then mostly just around here it's just personal herbs and a few plants and some agapanthus and stuff like that. Then we have the strawberry bed, which you'll have seen the video of me renovating, and we've got some pots here as well. Again, I'm going to try and put some more vines in them next year to try and cover this horrible trellising a little bit more. The other nice thing is, when you're watering the pots, it drips down onto the strawberry bed and then it drips down onto the pots of gladioli that I've got underneath, so it all works rather well. Then most of this area is ornamental, my lovely pine, and this is all an ornamental bed. I'm surprised that the hard frosts over the past few days haven't killed off this nicotiana. They're annuals, they're not frost hardy, so I'll be interested to see if these survive or whether they die off. There's the dog. And then these are the quail. They're hiding away in their box. Now they're pretty good at surviving low temperatures. It was -4 I think last night and they were fine. They have stopped laying, however. So at this moment in time I am contemplating getting one of those large inside bunny cages and keeping a few hens inside. I also want to do another hatch next year and add to the females, because the females are only very good at laying for a couple of years, and I'll also eat the cockerels. The ratio of cockbirds to hens in here is not good. It's the first time I've ever kept quail, and I'm not very good at identifying boys, so there's quite a lot of boys compared with girls, but I haven't got the heart to kill them now I've got attached to them, so they just survive there for a bit longer. There's more ornamental bed. This is the shed where the zebra finches are, but also my chicks. And then we get into the veggie area. Now I've got these 3 main raised beds, and then I've got the bed over there that I dug the other day. There's not a huge amount growing. There's some crappy old leeks here, which haven't really done anything, and then some spring cabbages. They've not thrived. I've never grown spring cabbages before. They're not a good earner because they take up a lot of space, so they'll just be for personal use. I don't need this bed at the moment, so I will leave them here for now. But if it gets to spring and they've just not grown at all, I'll just rip them out and feed them to the chickens, because I'll need the bed for other things. I've got some chard here that I've been using just for personal use, and also some kale as well. And then I've top dressed these again in some poultry muck that I dug out the other day, and I also added some more poultry muck to this new bed along with the fruit trees. Then behind the shed we have one of my coops. This is my Danver coop, so they're not really a layer, they're kind of one of the show birds. That is Miracle, my little Danver hen, and then we've got 2 boys. I have got another 2 Danver chicks on the way. One's a girl, one's a boy. Normally I would cull the boys when they're older, or try if I can't sell them, of course. But he's a really good, I think he's going to be a really good show stock one, so I'll probably keep him. And then in this coop we have the silkies and the silky crosses. So there's Barry that I introduced you to the other day, and then there's Gertrude, and then these are my 3 Danver silky hybrids. So they're a tiny little Danver hen, they're smaller than silkies, and then I want to cross them with Barry to try and get fluffy feathers. This one looking at us here in the middle is actually a cockerel, and it's hard enough rehoming pure breed cockerels, let alone hybrids, so I'm afraid he will probably end up getting dispatched. As for Barry, you shouldn't really put the hens together this quickly. He hasn't been quarantined for 10 days, but I've made an informed decision on risk. He was hatched out as a school project. He was only ever kept with 4 other chickens, all of which hatched out with him, so he's not come into contact where he could get diseases. The only thing he might have is mycoplasma, because you can catch that from wild birds. But that wouldn't necessarily show up anyway until he got stressed with other chickens, so I'm just going to keep a very close eye on him. But I think you're fine, Barry, don't you? I think you're fine, yeah. And then finally we have the laying girls. Now it'd be very nice just to have a little picket fence here. But the fact of the matter is, chickens fly, even when their wings are clipped, so I have to sort of barricade them in. They're all looking very fine. They're mostly hens. There are 4 roosters, just because I'm a bit of a soft touch, and if you're a pretty rooster, you get to live. So there's Skeksis coming in there. That is Flame. Ice is the pure white one, and then this is Ivy, who attacks me constantly. And then finally we've got the greenhouse, which is a complete and utter mess. There's not a lot growing in here at the moment. There's a few overwintering cuttings and things. There's some very sorry aubergine plants that I just need to throw away because they never came to anything, but that needs drastic cleaning. And that's all. So it's not a huge amount of space. It's a very normal space for anybody with a terrace garden, really. It's very doable. So it's just a small strip hidden behind a terraced house. So I hope that's given you a little bit of insight into how much land, or actually lack of land, I'm working with here. And I have by no means finished or maximised the use of this garden, and there is still a long, long way to go. But you know, we've only been here for 18 months and on a very, very tight budget, so we can't just go and buy everything. So it's like all gardens, it's evolving. I'm really excited for 2017. I put a hell of a lot of muck and goodness into that soil, so I'm really, really hoping that next year we'll get some really, really good growth. The hens will continue to go well, and as I said, I'll be hatching more quails and things as well. So there's a lot more to do, but we've come a long way from what was here before, which was literally just a strip of grass with a single flower bed running down the side, so it's changed a lot. So I hope you've liked the tour, and I will see you for a regular video on Friday. Bye.